Вітаю, друзі! Сьогодні ми маємо дуже цікаву віртуальну мандрівку, віртуальну зустріч із представницею української діаспори у місті Yellowknife, Жовтий ніж. Це є північні території Канади. Так, там живуть українці і не тільки живуть, а ще й танцюють українські танці і підтримують українські традиції. Щиро дякую усім, хто підтримує мій канал Ой Канаду Канадочку на YouTube та у Facebook.
I've got those Yellowknife blues. I've got those north of 60 blues. I've got those 350 mile in the back of a pickup dusty dirt road blues. I swear I'll never drive again. I'd rather risk my life on a PWA cruise. Probably gonna try. I've got those old town blues. I've got those Latham Island blues. Well, I got those huskies howling, airplanes roaring. I can't plug my ears. I'm losing my hearing blues. Well, now my water barrel's empty and my honey bucket's always full. Doesn't seem fair. Well, I got those house trailer blues.
Welcome, DonnaMarie Ouellette, a member of the Yellowknife Ukrainian Association, as well as lead instructor for the Aurora Ukrainian dancer in Yellowknife. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I was actually surprised to read on the internet that Ukrainian community lives and works in Yellowknife Northwest Territories of Canada. So please tell us, how big is the Ukrainian community and how long ago did it settle?
Okay. The Ukrainian community, the dance group itself started in 1978. And it started with Elsie Maracusa, who's my mother. When we moved from Winnipeg to Yellowknife back then, there was no dance group here. We were dancing in Winnipeg before we moved to Yellowknife. So she decided to start a dance group just to keep us learning and whatnot. And she had very good feedback. A lot of other children in the community wanted to learn how to Ukrainian dance, and that's how it started. As the years went on, and as my two older siblings, Kathy and Michael, and myself started growing up, we started teaching the group. And yeah, I think the group started with, I think 30 students to start. So it was a really good, solid start. And, you know, it just carried on from there. And it went on as we grew up and went off to school and to university. Other dancers came in and took over the group and taught. And then there was a hiatus for a few years. And then in the mid-90s, it started up again under my instruction and another young instructor that came from Manitoba. Her name was Denise Dobush, who is now Denise Chenier, who between the two of us, we started it up again, and again had really good feedback from the community. It's not a huge Ukrainian community in Yellowknife, but that certainly wasn't a prerequisite to be a dancer. If you like to have fun and you didn't mind working hard, then you could join the group. So she and I got that going again. Her mother and my mother, and her mother especially, really took on the role of costume design, and so we had a lot of support. Now that's the dance group, so that's the Aurora Ukrainian dancers. As I mentioned earlier, it was started in the late 70s. A few years later, there were enough interested people in the community of Yellowknife who said, why don't we start an association to support the dance group? So then that's when the association started. I think in the early 80s. I don't have the exact numbers for you, how many people joined. I was pretty small then. But the Ukrainian Association has been going since the early 80s and has supported the dance group and has been very interested in supporting or organized events like the Malanka, which we do every year. They support our concert, which happens every spring. We have Perehe and Kubasa sales, food booths. So that's how they've integrated themselves into Yellowknife community.
Mhm. So dancers is not only Ukrainians, it's different nationality.
Absolutely, absolutely, yes. Our dancers are of all cultural backgrounds.
Can you please share with us a little bit about your Ukrainian background, your family?
My family came, both my parents are Ukrainian. They came to Canada, both my parents were born in Canada. Their parents, some were born in Canada and some in Ukraine. In the early 1900s, they came over from Western Ukraine, and they settled in Manitoba.
Farmers, like farmers.
Yes, they were.
They have a homestead and everything.
Yeah, they were settlers, yes.
Did you even visit Ukraine?
I have not. Actually, it's an interesting story. My husband and I were going to go with my mom and dad to the Ukraine. However, that trip was canceled due to the pandemic.
Oh,
Yeah, May 2020 was when we were supposed to go. My parents have gone to the Ukraine. They went, I think 15, 20 years ago. Yeah.
Okay. As I understood, the main community organization in the Yellowknife is Ukrainian Association. Or do you have another organization?
No, it's the Yellowknife Ukrainian Association is the one Ukrainian association in Yellowknife, and Aurora Ukrainian dancers fall under that. They are supported by the Yellowknife Ukrainian Association.
Do you have like Ukrainian church or Ukrainian school?
No Ukrainian church.
Does somebody from your community speak in Ukrainian or not?
There are a few people in the community that speak Ukrainian, but not many.
Do you have some connection to Ukraine, or how you would describe your connection to Ukraine?
I guess my personal connection to the Ukraine is through my family and through our history. And I know we have relatives in Ukraine, but I don't have any direct connection with them.
Why do you choose to preserve Ukrainian culture?
Grew up with it, you know. I mean, from the time I was young, started dancing when I was a very young girl, and the success of the group within the community is what keeps us going as well. There's always people who want to learn, and it's a fun group, and the association is a fun group of people to be around. When we organize events like the Malanka or the concert, it's exciting, and we get a lot of really good community feedback.
What are the main events in your communities during the year, approximately?
Through the year, primarily, I mean, for the Ukrainian Association, Malanka is the big event. A lot of people look forward to it, Ukrainian or not. We always sell out. There's usually not an empty seat. The caterer comes from Edmonton. She comes and she prepares all the traditional food, and so that's the main event for the Ukrainian Association. Then, of course, the dancers perform for that. And also then the dancers have their annual spring concert, which we work for, we start classes in September, and come March, we're ready to have a performance. So yeah, that's always really exciting for the group.
It's really fantastic that in such a small community you are still keeping the Ukrainian culture, tradition, and Ukrainian spirit alive. What it means for you to keep it?
It's important to me. I mean, it's my culture. Both of my children, who are adults now, grew up dancing, and also in their teenage years started to teach the dance group. I've seen dancers that started when they were 5 years old, and are now instructors with the group. So it's really important to see that it's important to them that they want to stick with it as well. So it's not just about the Ukrainian culture. It's about the fact that it's a group of kids from all different backgrounds who come and are connected by by Ukrainian dance. Yes.
Do you have some connection with other Ukrainian communities in different cities, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, our dancers often they go in the summertime. The Ukrainian Association supports dancers to go down and go to Ukrainian dance camp, and so that's been our connection with the Shumka dancers. That they have come. Our dancers go down for their summer camps.
Mhm. What about financial situation? About to support the group?
Well, like I say, the Ukrainian Association supports us and proceeds from different events and from sales of petahed and kubasa. The dancers do fundraising also themselves. So yeah, it's all volunteer work to raise money to support the group. Yes. Our dance group is unique in itself that, I think we're as far as I know, we're the only Ukrainian dance group in the north. We do try to keep a lot of traditional Ukrainian in our dances, but we do also incorporate different elements. The name of the dance group is the Aurora Ukrainian Dancers. So we have a particular dance that we do every year that is our signature choreography, signature music, and a costume that is definitely not Ukrainian. It's a costume that is made to look like the Northern Lights. So that's something that is unique to our group.
Yeah. It's supposed to be something unique.
Yes.
Yes. The main Ukrainian community, as I understand, is dancers, Ukrainian dancers and Ukrainian dancers school.
Yes. Yeah.
So good, because you don't need to speak Ukrainian just that.
No, you don't need to speak Ukrainian to dance Ukrainian. That's absolutely right. Last year, our dance group, the ages range from 4 years old to into their 20s. And there's usually every year between 40 and 50 dancers. So it's a big group. It's a good sized group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you think about older group, like 40 and up?
Well, we did for many years. We did have like I don't want to say seniors, but we had a young at heart group, and they have still maintained their own seniors dance group, but they are sort of separated from our particular dance group. But there is a group of older women who have so wonderfully carried on not just Ukrainian dance, but they've incorporated different cultural dances into their group. So that's really nice to see.
So thank you very much for the conversation. I think for our listeners, it will be very interesting to discover the life of Ukrainian community in Yellowknife.
Well, thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah, we wish you all the best and say hello to Ukrainians in Yellowknife. And I hope we will see you and your group at our event in Toronto. What do you think?
What is the event in Toronto?
Oh, we have lots of cultural events, festival, concert. You should work on it.
I'm interested in hearing more about that, actually.
Yeah.
Now that we can travel, now that we can sort of travel a little bit, it's getting a little bit easier, for sure.
Yeah. So, DonnaMarie, thank you very much and see you in Toronto.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you, Natalka.
See you again.
All right. Have a good day. Bye now.
Bye-bye.